Hi, this is John Altschuler, Head of Bot Production at BotCentral. Today I'm going to walk you through using the BotCentral platform. We'll start by logging in. You can go to platform.botcentral.ai. You should already have received your username and password. If you've forgotten your password, you can always tap this link and reset it. Why don't we log in? Once you log in, you'll be presented with the platform dashboard. Based on your permissions, you'll see whichever modules are available to you. Here we've got the bot builder, the knowledge base, and our analytics portal. In the upper right, you can see your org name, your profile, where if you want to change your password or edit your information, you can view your settings. You can also log out here. And if you want to get to some of our documentation, you can link off using these links here. Why don't we jump right into the bot builder and get started? So here is the bot builder. We are seeing some high-level analytics here. We've also got our Lowe's answer bot on the left. By tapping on that, I open up a sub-menu here with all the items for my bot. I can see some analytics. I can get to the settings. The settings are important for a few reasons. I can rename my bot here. I can also get to some additional options. I can also export the bot by tapping on this link. This will export a JSON file, which is great for backing up your current state of the bot. You can also use that bot to be imported later to create new bots. For example, up here we've got the Create Bot button, which would create a fresh new bot, or I can tap on this and import a bot, and this will import any JSON that I've created from another bot. So it's a great way to duplicate bots if you'd like. Here we've also got the Messages editor. And the Messages editor is where you would spend most of your time as a bot developer, modifying the messages, adding new messages to change the bot's overall functionality. Over here on the left, we've got all the messages that are available in this bot. And it may seem like a lot, it's really not that many. There's only about 5 or 6 messages that are handling most of the functionality of the bot. And in order to see that at work, why don't we actually launch the bot right now and take a look. Using this Test an HTML client link, I can launch an HTML version of the bot. And I'm presented with the welcome message, and then it goes to the main menu, showing me some options. These options have a letter value to make it easier for navigating on a mobile device. So I could either type a letter or I could type a value here. I could say check order status if I want. This is actually going to pull directly from the knowledge base the correct response. And here I've got a link. I can tap on that to open up the order status page. And I get presented some feedback. Did this answer your question? And we use this information to help us learn and make the bot smarter over time. So I can say A or yes. Awesome. So I then get presented back to the main menu. And here I can say C for I'm interested in some discount programs. And here I get a submenu about the discount programs. Providing users menus is a great way of giving them some idea of what's possible, what the bot understands. They don't have to use the menu, but at least it orients them in some way. So I can just say, A, am I eligible? And this is again pulling from the knowledge base. And it gives me the response parsed out in a couple chat bubbles, as well as giving me a more detailed link. And so if you provide a link in the knowledge base, the user can tap on that for more information. And then again, I get the feedback. So why don't we see how all this was put together? I'm going to go back to the bot builder. And as we know, it started out with a welcome message. This message is triggered based on these simple patterns here. They'll always be triggered the first time the user initiates the bot. There's a couple text messages here. The more you add, the bot will randomly select one of these messages. So nice to see you at Lowe's, welcome to Lowe's. You can change these very easily just by typing in a new message and then hit save. And that's all you need to do. And if a user comes back again, they'll be presented with a welcome back message. And again, there's multiple responses here. Once the user saw the welcome message, they were then taken to the main menu. They can also access this just by typing menu. Here we've got the text response, and we can change this just by typing in here. And then based on what the user responds with, this code here, process user response, will trigger. We don't need to go into this code right now. It requires a little bit of JavaScript savviness. If you want to change this menu, you can certainly let us know, and we're happy to modify that for you. Then, once the user responds to the menu, chances are they're going to be taken to the knowledge base. This message here is set to default search, which means if it doesn't match with any other message, it will match here. And so chances are when the user types something, this is what they'll be matched to. And you can see this is a dynamic message getting the FAQ response from the responder. And so it will pull any responses that it has from the knowledge base. And so speaking of the knowledge base, why don't we go and check that out. So I'm going to go back to the dashboard. And up here, I have a little app switcher, and I can switch to the different modules. So now we're looking at the knowledge base. You can have multiple knowledge bases. Here we just have the one. And we can see all of the articles that are contained within it. There's only about 10 or so. If you'd like, you can search the knowledge base, say, I need to return something. And this is going to search through the articles using our same NLU algorithm and return whatever results it finds appropriate. And here you can see they're scored, so that what is your return policy has a very good score, where everything else has a much lower score. So this is clearly the best response. And you can see that I typed, I need to return something, which is a little bit different than what is your return policy. So why did it match? Well, if we tap on the article, we can see that we've got some tags, return policy. We've got some detail copy, which explains what the article content is. And generally speaking, we have short content in the summary, longer content in the detail. And for the purposes of this bot, we will show either what's in the summary or what's in the detail, not both. If you have a bot with much more complex articles, then you could potentially show a brief summary which then leads to a longer detail, but we're not doing that here. We're trying to keep things very simple. You can see here we've added some intent qualifiers. How do I make a return, or I want to return something? Intent qualifiers are alternative ways in which someone might ask for this particular article, and they help with the matching. You can see I've added a content link here, and as we saw in the bot, when you provide a content link, we'll actually create a special message which will provide a link to that information. We've also got some positive learnings here, and this is the way we train the bot in order to, again, become smarter and match more often. And the way that works, so I can type something like, how do I make a return? And it already matched to this return policy, but if we really like this response, we can actually give it a thumbs up. It'll automatically add it to the learnings. If you want to add a new article, it's really easy. I just tap Add New. Why don't we say a little something about the Lowe's for Pros program. So I can add a few tags like professional, contractor, and how about discount? I can add a little bit of copy. Lowe's for Pros is a discount program for professional contractors. And I can give it a link down here in the content area. I can give it a link to for more information. I could add some intent qualifiers. Tell me about Lowe's for Pros. What is Lowe's for Pros? Am I eligible for Lowe's for Pros? Okay, so I've added some intent qualifiers that will help with our matching process. And I've added a link to take the users to some greater detail on the web. I save that, and then I can search for tell me about Lowe's for Pros. And there I can see that the message is coming up. Now that I've added this information, I can actually go to the bot and do the same thing. Tell me about Lowe's for Pros. So you can see that it pulled directly from the knowledge base without having to add any additional information to the bot itself. The knowledge base is our content repository and can be expanded indefinitely. And here I've added that link, which provides additional information. Why don't we take a look at analytics? By going up to the app switcher here, I can switch to the analytics portal. I can see that our Lowe's bot is the only bot available here, and it gives me some high-level information on some metrics for the bot, match rate and the conversation length. I can tap in and get an overview of some of that information: users, conversations, messages, intent matched rate over here is 78%, and the intents that were being asked are shown here. And so these are the top matched intents, and these are the top unanswered phrases, so things people typed in but did not get a response for. And if I tap on the matched intents, I can actually go deeper into what happened. So here, this is showing me the intents matched based on the number of questions asked, how many were unmatched, how many were matched, and what the rate is. A feature of the analytics portal is that I can actually turn on and off the various keys here so I can get a detailed view of the chart. If we had multiple intents coming from the bot or from the FAQs, we could actually see the individual ones here. But for the purposes of this bot, they're all coming from the knowledge base. As I scroll down, I can see the match rate over time. I can also get a deeper look at the matched intents and see what people are asking. By looking at the unmatched, I can see where I might need to add additional intent qualifiers or keywords or do some training, or where there might be gaps in the knowledge base and I might actually want to add additional content. So one last thing I want to show you is how to add additional messages to the bot. I'm going to go to the message editor. Here I'm going to tap on the plus sign. And why don't we add a message for the careers at Lowe's. So I'm going to call this careers. I'm going to add patterns to match to what the user's potentially going to ask. So I'm going to add a wildcard, and I'm going to add the word job. I'm also going to add a wildcard at the end of this so that if someone says, I'm looking for a job, it will match. If they say I'm looking for a job at Lowe's, it will also match. I can also add the same for career. And why don't we start with that and see how we do. We can always add additional patterns as we go. This is going to be a bot response because it's going to respond to these patterns. It's going to be a static message. It's not going to be calling for additional information. We're going to create the message right here. And this will be a simple text message. So why don't we say something like, you know, if you're looking for work, there's plenty of opportunity at Lowe's. Okay, and then we're also going to add a link. And so this is just going to be a standard href, just like standard HTML. We're going to add a target just so it opens up a new window, and tap here for more details. And that's it. I'm going to save this message. You can see careers has been added into my message view. I'm going to go back to the bot, and I'm going to type I'm looking for a job. And that message immediately appears. I've got my link all formatted and ready to go, which will take me to the careers page at Lowe's. So adding messages can be very simple in the bot as well. You know, for most content, you're probably going to want to add it in the knowledge base. But for some messages, you may want to add it in the bot. Either way is fine. The knowledge base is certainly a little more flexible and doesn't require creating these messages here. Also, this is matching to our patterns, not using our NLU algorithms, and is treated a little bit differently. So certainly, if you want to add messages within the bot, you can. This is one example of how to do that. But generally speaking, the way we've approached this bot is to put all the content in the knowledge base. So that was a quick overview of how to use the BotCentral platform. I hope you were able to take something away from it. Please use the documentation that we've provided, and if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out anytime. Thank you very much.